Hello and welcome to Game Objective. My name is Brad Glasgow, and my fellow gamers, we have a serious problem. Toxicity is running rampant in our community. And the major gaming websites want to make sure that we know it is a huge problem. League of Legends is toxic, Overwatch is toxic, Counter-Strike is just straight up toxic, Team Fortress 2, a game old enough to enter puberty, is shockingly toxic. Game devs can't say what they want because all of online culture is too toxic. Fallout 76 has a solution for dealing with toxic players. Heroes of the Storm is toxic. Polygon's Colin Campbell, who was famously sent to a preview of Rock Band 4 despite not liking rock music and thinking, quote, all video games are stupid, wrote a 10,000-word article about gaming's toxic men. Even AT&T, the $200 billion telecommunications behemoth, jumped on the bandwagon and created the hashtag Great Game campaign to combat gamer toxicity. This is the same AT&T that is currently being sued for deceptive marketing practices for slapping a 5GE label on their 4G network. Toxicity is such a problem in the video game world that Kotaku has a tag for articles listed under toxicity, with no fewer than 40 articles under the listing. If you do a search for toxic on Polygon, you will see 31 pages of results. So, come on gamers, what's wrong with us? Why are we so toxic? You don't see a flood of articles calling other fandoms toxic. Their behavior is fine. You'll notice these articles about our toxic behavior almost all deal with competitive online gaming. So the closest analogy we have is the world of sports. And we just don't see that kind of toxic behavior in sports. It's a gaming thing. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I have to pause a minute while we have some breaking news about Brazilian soccer.
This is referee Otávio Jordão da Silva. 20 years old, he stabbed football player Josenir dos Santos Abreu, and then soon after this attack, a crowd of people, spectators, attack the referee, tie him up, beat him, stone him, and quarter him, and then put his head on a stake and place it in the middle of the soccer field.
Well, that's just antisocial behavior right there. Oh, and more breaking news, we now have a riot as police fight with Danish soccer fans. Oh, the humanity. We've all heard about soccer hooligans and riots at sporting events. In one riot in Egypt, more than 70 people died in the violence, and then 10 people were sentenced to death for their crimes involved in the riot. But then you don't see 31 pages of articles about sports fan toxicity on ESPN's website, do we? To be fair, when doing a search for toxic on ESPN's website, we do get 10 pages of articles. However, many of those articles are duplicates. Several of those articles are from a recurring piece called Jackpot Jay's Toxic Mailbag. There are some articles about politics from 538, an affiliate website of ESPN, but all in all, there are only a few articles about toxicity in sports. It's a pretty striking difference in the way the reporting is handled. If we take an even closer look at things, we need to ask, what is toxicity in video gaming? Well, it's people being mean to each other online. Variety recently ran an article, The Problem of Toxicity in Esports and Two Solutions, where it recounts someone recognizing a need for an official code of conduct for the first university esports arena at UC Irvine after a gamer, quote, vocally yelled profanity and other undesirable language. In other words, it's trash talk. Of course, trash talk has been around forever, but look at how it's treated in the sports world. This comes from the official NFL website, NFL.com. It's a video called, quote, Best Trash Talk of the 2017 season.
I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star. They don't like that. They don't like when you clown on them, no.
Trash talk is celebrated in sports. You can find countless articles and videos ranking the best trash talkers in the NFL or the NBA. So you have sports where people, sometimes many people, actually die when fans get upset, their heads even being placed on pikes. And yet, their media doesn't publish 31 pages of articles about toxicity in sports. In video games, someone in an esports arena stands up and yells profanity, and it results in a code of conduct and an article in Variety talking about possible solutions. The issue here is not that gamers are uniquely toxic. Gamers are just people. They're normal people, and when normal people compete, no matter if it's in sports or video games, they will trash talk to each other. They have since the beginning of time.
Spartans! Lay down your weapons! Persians! Come and get them!
That does not excuse bad behavior. That does not excuse poor sportsmanship. And we've all run into some awful people online. But that's not a gaming issue. It's a people issue. You will run into awful people in every aspect of your life. You'll run into them at work. You'll see them at the store. You'll definitely find them on the roads during rush hour. People can be awful to each other. And since gamers are people, yes, gamers can also be awful to each other. But despite all this awfulness of all these people, it's really only gamers that get branded with the toxic label. And you will notice that these articles from Kotaku and Polygon, they all started around 6 or 7 years ago. That coincides with the time that gaming media really became political. That's when Polygon started, as an intentionally and aggressively progressive voice in gaming. And I hate to bring this person up, but that's also around the time of the Anita Sarkeesian Tropes videos where she made this argument.
But it's undeniable that popular culture is a powerful influence in our lives, and the damsel in distress trope as a recurring trend does help to normalize extremely toxic, patronizing, and paternalistic attitudes about women.
I've been online gaming since the early 90s. I'm an old guy. The only thing that has changed as far as toxicity in gaming goes is how the media treats it. The gaming media is the only media out there that applies this label to their user base. You don't see it in sports. You don't see anything about toxicity in Motor Trend, despite a whole lot of drivers being straight up assholes. It's only gaming media. And it's not a coincidence that every time they talk about toxicity, it's about a major video game that generates views, like Overwatch or Fortnite. They do it to generate clicks. And worse, they do it to further their political agendas, like this community manager for World of Tanks, James Kozanecki, who actually argued that toxic gaming had something to do with the Christchurch massacre. Don't believe the myth. It's not that gamers are toxic. The myth is that gamers are different from anyone else. This has been Brad Glasgow with Game Objective. Thanks for watching.